October 16, 1991, a day that left a lasting mark on Killeen, Texas, and on the hearts of people across the country. In this second part of our memorial series, we continue honoring the lives lost in the Lubys Cafeteria tragedy. Each name represents a person loved by family, remembered by friends, and missed by an entire community. These stories remind us why we must never grow numb to violence or forget those who were taken too soon. This tribute continues our promise to remember, to speak their names, and to support those still healing today. Claudine Humphrey, 63, from Marlin, Texas. Claudine was the kind of friend everyone wished for. Steady, kind, loyal. She had worked for years in her community and had a family who adored her. She was at Lubys for a normal lunch hour when shots were fired. Witnesses say she helped calm others before she was struck. She died there that day, an innocent life taken in seconds. Claudine's memory continues through stories told at family gatherings, where her laugh is still recalled with love. Sylvia Matilda King, 30, from Killeen, Texas. Sylvia was just 30, full of plans, full of promise. Friends described her as upbeat and caring, someone who brought light to any space. On October 16th, she joined others for a simple lunch. When the shooting began, chaos consumed the cafeteria. She tried to help others before she was fatally shot. Sylvia's life ended young, but her compassion lives on in those who remember her smile and her courage. Zona Lynn Marlin, from Texas. Zona was known in her town for kindness and her faith. She had stopped in Killeen to eat while running errands. She was seated near the window when the pickup came crashing through, and she was killed in the first moments of gunfire. Zona's church family remembers her voice in the choir and her willingness to lend a hand to anyone who needed help. Her absence still echoes decades later, a good person whose day ended far too soon. Connie Peterson, 41, from Austin, Texas. Connie was a hard worker and a devoted mother. She was in Killeen on business that day and stopped at Lubys for lunch. She called her family earlier that morning, making plans for dinner. She never made it home. Connie's loss left deep grief in her family. A wife, a mother, a friend remembered for laughter and love. Her family continues to honor her by living fully in the time they have, just as she always did. Ruth Pujol, 55, from Copperas Cove, Texas. Ruth was known for her kindness and warmth. She worked in her community and often volunteered for local events. That afternoon, she met friends for lunch, enjoying an ordinary Wednesday. When gunfire erupted, she was struck and killed instantly. Ruth's life is remembered not by how it ended, but by how much she gave to others in her 55 years. Her spirit of giving lives on in every life she touched. Suzanne Rashot, 36, from San Antonio, Texas. Suzanne was visiting the Killeen area for work and decided to stop for lunch at Lubys. She had a promising career and loved to travel. She called her husband that morning to say she'd be home by evening. When the shooting started, witnesses recalled her trying to help others reach cover. She was fatally struck. Suzanne's friends describe her as fearless, funny, and full of life. She is remembered as someone who always believed tomorrow would be better, and that hope is what her family carries on. John Romero Jr., 29, from Copperas Cove, Texas. John was only 29, a young man just building his life. Friends said he was loyal, easygoing, and ready to help anyone who needed a hand. He stopped at Lubys that afternoon for a quick lunch. When the gunman entered, John helped others hide behind tables, sacrificing his own safety. He was shot and killed at the scene. His courage was noted by survivors. We remember John as a man who faced fear with bravery and who deserved far more years than he received. Thomas Simmons, from Killeen, Texas. Thomas was known by friends as friendly and dependable. He was at Lubys for a routine lunch break, just part of his workday. In the chaos that followed, he was struck down in the crossfire. People who knew him recall his easy laugh and the calm presence he brought to those around him. His life, like so many others that day, was taken without reason. We honor Thomas for the ordinary goodness that defined his days. Glenn Arvil Spivey, 55, from Harker Heights, Texas. Glenn worked hard all his life and was finally enjoying the rewards: friends, family, stability. That afternoon, he joined co-workers at Lubys, chatting over lunch. He was hit by gunfire and died in the restaurant. People describe Glenn as soft-spoken, dependable, and the kind of man everyone could rely on. His steady nature left a mark on his community. We remember him as a good man who never sought attention, but always gave his best. Nancy Stansbury, 44, from Harker Heights, Texas. Nancy was a devoted wife, mother, and friend. She loved family gatherings and caring for others. On that October day, she was enjoying a simple meal at Lubys when violence shattered everything. She was killed instantly. Her family describes her as the heart of their home, always making others feel cared for. Nancy's legacy is love. The love she gave freely, and the love that now keeps her memory alive. Olgica Olga Taylor, 45, from Waco, Texas. Olgica, known as Olga, was a hard-working woman with deep family ties. She loved Texas, her home, and the community she built. She was having lunch in Killeen that day, seated with friends when the shooting began. Witnesses said she tried to comfort others even as chaos broke out. Olga's empathy never wavered. Her life was stolen, but her compassion remains what people remember most. She lived with courage and grace until the very end. James Welsh, 75, from Waco, Texas. James was a retired man, enjoying the peace of his later years with his wife Lula. The couple had been married for more than 50 years, inseparable through every stage of life. On October 16th, they were together at Lubys when the gunman entered. James was killed instantly. Lula passed moments later. Their story is one of devotion, even in death. James is remembered for his patience, humor, and the steadfast love he showed to everyone around him. Lula Welsh, 75, from Waco, Texas. Lula shared a lifetime with her husband James. Children, grandchildren, and decades of marriage. They went everywhere together, including that day at Lubys. The two were seated side by side when the shooting started. They died together as they had lived, side by side. Family members remember their unwavering partnership and the home they built filled with love. We honor Lula's life as one of loyalty and deep affection. Iva Juanita Nita. Williams, 64, from Temple, Texas. Juanita, known affectionately as Nita, was a lifelong Texan with a strong faith and a wide circle of friends. She went to Lubys that day to meet someone for lunch, unaware of the danger ahead. When the attack began, she was struck by gunfire and killed instantly. Those who knew her speak of her generosity, her cooking, her laughter, and her faith. The Killeen community still speaks her name each year on October 16th. Nita's kindness and strength live on in every heart that remembers her. If this story moved you, please subscribe, like, and share this channel. Every time you do, these names reach more hearts. Remembrance means nothing without action, and your voice helps keep their memory alive.